Hello all. Listen to my voice. I am definitely not AI. Welcome to another episode of the Lux Saigon podcast. This time Nick and Kalvis discuss chapters 3 and 4 on the book Think and Grow Rich. These chapters are about faith and auto-suggestion respectively. How do you talk to yourself? Do you believe in affirmations? Does pineapple go on pizza? We hope this discussion is helpful. Merry Christmas, Mother Flowers.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Lux Saigon. I'm back here with my bro Kalvis to continue discussing Think and Grow Rich, Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to Tide Consulting. That's Tyde, Tide Consulting. They're doing some workshops next month, December, on public speaking, how to give powerful presentations. And I took their workshop this month on just straight up public speaking, and it was super helpful for me, which is what I'm working on right now, just speaking in general. But yeah, bro, what's up?
That's awesome,
dude. So how has chapters 1 and 2 sunk in this week?
Well, I mean, you read all them and you learn a lot, but I guess we'll have to start with chapter 2 about desire, about the goal, what you need to have,
Yeah.
the six-step goal. So the first is write down exact amount of money you want to have.
Yeah.
Next was what do you want to give in return?
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. So have a definite plan. But it's kind of interesting reading the next chapters, 3 and 4, that you could also actually think about the amount of money you want to obtain, but not necessarily know the plan yet. You just have to let your subconscious mind figure some things out, but you kind of have to already imagine yourself in possession of the money you imagine.
Yeah.
But then later, the conscious will hopefully help you to give you a plan as well. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of interesting.
But
yeah.
What would you say to people that they'll be like, "But come on, Kalvis, be realistic. That's delusional. Why are you gonna think about how much money you want and not even come up with a plan to how to get there?"
I mean, honestly, you probably do need a plan. In the second chapter, they do talk about having a definite date, definite amount, and what you're willing to give in return. So I would say you probably need to have maybe a general idea what you can do. In my case, it would be in terms of teaching or maybe selling. In other people's cases, maybe it's something different, but you have to maybe have at least vague idea what you could do.
Right. At least some kind of blueprint to follow along, because we don't know the exact path yet, right? We're just trying our best. It's we're exploring for the first time. We're like Columbus going to India.
Yes, that's exploring India, but reaching America, right? They thought it's India,
right?
So they call them Indians.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, let's go into faith. Yeah, just imagine how why would somebody have that kind of faith that would work? Okay, let's make a vague plan, just the best plan that we can make in this moment without trying to be perfect, and then just go for it, and then make adjustments along the way. Why would someone have faith, so much faith, that they would consistently do that? Barnes,
faith,
right?
Yeah, Barnes, how he believed that he's going to work with Thomas Edison. He had that faith. And in this chapter, so chapter 3, faith, they talked about that is the foundation of getting to riches is faith, basically by believing in it. Just like a lot of people deep down maybe believe in bad luck or misfortune and stuff.
Exactly.
Some people maybe believe like that. bad things happen to me all the time, or this happens to me all the time.
Exactly.
Also, people who have like abundance mindset, usually they attract the abundance as well. They have faith and not just like some woo woo wow wow, just like, oh, I imagine and I'm going like a dream, like floating in space, like we're living in a like physical reality. Things happen, like you still have to take action and get stuff done. But yeah, what do you think about this faith chapter? It also talks about those three strongest emotions that like positive emotions humans can experience. One is the faith, the other one is love, and the third one is sex. Like those three emotions, and so and mixed with like any thought in your head, like it's like a powerful force that can get you somewhere. Mixed with the chapter 4, which is like the auto suggestion, right? Like just exactly, just like I know what you're taking. Just like a rocket in space, just like but that is that force actually. That is that masculine force, like that getting hard or whatever, like getting shit done, and so yeah.
I had something in my mind I wanted to share. Something related to faith. Dang it. It will come back, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, you can come back to it.
One thing I want to say too, because like many people when they hear the word faith, they immediately be like, no, but I don't believe any religion. It's like, we're not talking about religion. This isn't religion
correct.
at all. Me personally, I am 0% religious. But I would say my faith is really strong and just getting stronger every day. So then what does that mean then? So what is faith? Like faith in what?
Yeah.
Yeah, faith.
Yeah, well, what's that?
Like faith in what?
Right.
Faith
well, you can have faith in yourself, I guess.
Okay.
Like, that you're gonna be successful, you're gonna reach your destination, and even though maybe something in your mind, like it seems crazy, like I'm gonna reach, for example, $1 million or whatever, like it might seem crazy, but you gotta have faith and stuff like that. I think in a book, was it this chapter or the next one, they talked about having like the specific goal and going for it, and then later thinking about the plan later, just having faith that it's gonna come, and when it's gonna come, you act on it. So that example, they gave example like in 5 years, I mean like January, whatever, 5 years from now, I'm gonna have possession of $50,000 US, which might seem pretty like, okay, that's a normal amount of money. But I was doing this in inflation calculator back in the day, and the book was written in 1937. So $50,000 back then was worth $1 million today. So it's kind of like, ooh. So they're like thinking big, and yeah, so that was kind of interesting.
It's like, this is like a good question for both of us. Like, do you have faith that you can consistently find solutions to any problem?
I do personally. Not like every single problem, but yeah.
Or like, let's say like, okay, like, let's say like, do I have faith that I'm going to learn how to build a rocket and fly it to space? It's like, no, because I don't care. Right.
Right.
For that, I don't
Maybe
care.
if you would care if it's still enough. Yeah.
It's like, it's not my passion. Like if space travel was like my passion, then I feel totally confident that I would just learn how to do that, or how to like
by reading books.
Like
Elon Musk.
like Elon, like he knows how to like how to engineer these things to do the things that he loves, but like that's not my thing. But what about something that is my thing? Do I have faith that I can consistently solve problems to reach the life that I genuinely want, that is meaningful for me? And I would say yes, definitely, yeah.
That's great. That's great. I have a similar thing. Yeah, I'm also not doing some space stuff or some out of this world stuff. but just some stuff that kind of like is congruent with my own like maybe values. For me, it's not about just chasing the next dollar or something like that. It's about also finding your inner peace and happiness. I don't know, just being happy in general, but also working towards like a big goal, like setting big goals and going towards it. And,
Sure.
Yeah, maybe sometimes we put too small of a goals, and I mean, then we achieve it, but more likely we're going to achieve it. But sometimes maybe we aim for quote unquote the moon. Even if we don't reach the moon, we could like reach the stars, right? That's the saying, right?
That's how they say.
So maybe sometimes it's better to actually put bigger goals, but even though you're not going to reach it, you're going to get closer to whatever the smaller goal would be, right?
So, or like some people say, like if your goal doesn't scare you a little bit, then it's not big enough.
Correct. Yes, I heard that before.
Which makes sense.
Yes. But yeah, what did you think about this chapter? What comes to your mind when you think of faith? Like, not in a
When I
religious
think of
sense?
faith, yeah, right, exactly. Not in a religious sense, but still having faith in something that is infinite. Because if the thing
Correct.
that you have faith in is not infinite, then it's limited and it can end.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to
Right.
choose something that you believe is infinite, whatever that is. And if you are religious,
Yes,
then
you
okay,
believe that.
then use your religion to fuel this faith. If you are like me, that you are
Yeah.
not religious, then you got to use something else.
Correct.
But then what would somebody? I think most people that are listening might be in that category, like people that are not religious. Although I'm sure some of them are, but for the ones that are not religious, like what are some ideas of like what are some infinite things that they could put their faith in?
Mm. Well, yeah, as in the book, it said basically faith is the first step towards riches. Same like faith is the first step to like basically health. Faith is also the first to like any kind of success. You kind of have to have faith. And but it's interesting, for example, with the example again of Elon Musk with his companies Tesla and SpaceX, he actually realistically thought it's only going to be less than 10% likelihood of his companies to succeed, but he still did it. He
Yeah.
still had like faith for humanity in his case. I guess he has this love for civilization. He wants to uh, just make this world a better place. So even though he's doing something extremely difficult, I guess he has just faith in humanity, the whole thing. So
I guess like okay, so he said it had like a 10% success rate, right? Like in his own calculation.
yeah, less
So
than
at
10%. Yeah.
less than 10%. So, but it was still more than 0%. So
Well, yeah.
so maybe that's what made him decide like, well, it's not zero, so it could happen. Like it
Right.
there's a high chance that it won't happen, but it could, and I'm curious enough to find out if it's gonna happen.
But the thing is, if wouldn't happen, he would lost like hundreds of millions of dollars,
Yeah.
possibly. If the fourth rocket launch didn't work in SpaceX, so he did three rocket launches. That was
Yeah.
the initial
Yeah.
plan, but the third one didn't work, and they still kind of got money for the fourth one, barely. And if that didn't work, then that would be it. But on the fourth one, it worked, and then the next day, NASA offered Tesla like a $1 billion contract that kind of saved SpaceX and Tesla at the same time because they were both struggling back in 2009 with the financial crisis.
So he's kind of like the story in chapter 2 about the guy that's digging for gold, except for Elon gave it one more shot. Like he gave it his last shot and it worked.
If the rocket reached the orbit, which is pretty unreal. Only governments had done it up until that point. So
Yeah.
it was quite a remarkable achievement. And yeah.
When Elon when he explains how he imagines something happening, like for example, he can imagine what happens if a car hits a brick wall at a specific speed. He can imagine that. He can imagine exactly like what outcome it would have. Isn't that kind of like how they're describing like quantum computing? That it's going to be able to do things like that for us, like help us to simulate actual events without actually doing them.
I mean, simulations would always help us to make better decisions, right, in our life, you know.
Just like
But
such an accurate simulation to the point where like he knows how many screws a car would need to survive hitting a brick wall at a specific speed.
at a certain speed, but of course, there's a limit. Once you go over that kind of limit speed, it's gonna be, you know,
Right. Then you have to
yeah,
recalculate your simulation. I don't know.
right. But yeah, what else
Just,
did you find interesting about this chapter? Anything, something interesting that comes out?
I mean, it's still well, and like something you said during this conversation was like the first thing we need is faith, and that actually makes sense because faith would come before desire. Like before choosing your goal, you would need faith to even choose that goal because you're not going to choose something that you think is unrealistic
Mm.
unless you want to fail.
I mean, you could still choose something unrealistic, as we discussed before. You could like set like a really big goal, and even if you don't reach it, you're still gonna be way ahead of where you would be,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it might be unrealistic like for society, but for you it might feel like it's actually possible though.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, as long as it feels possible for you, then
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, like what about you? Like, yeah, how do you maintain faith? Or if you're still learning that, that's okay. But like, yeah, what like what do you have faith in?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely still a student of life, student of this book. But I mean, over the years, I definitely have more faith, basically in myself, and just you know, getting through life. Like when it comes to like fitness stuff, for example,
Mm,
getting fit, getting stronger, like imagining my body, what I want to improve, going
mm,
for it, and actually improving. When it comes to my dating life, same, like improving it as well, just going out, speaking to people, and not being so shy, and just going out more. And when it comes to money, I've definitely taken a lot of action. When it comes to like having my first job as a sales associate in America, then coming here in Vietnam and having the confidence to do teaching, and uh, I definitely will want to apply more faith in the future for my future endeavors when it comes to uh, financial stuff. So
sure.
yeah,
Or like to
still
like
figuring out like.
yeah, like you're gonna use that faith to like design specifically what kind of life you want.
Yes. And it's not just about the riches, like accumulating
Right.
riches, but about, well, also like spiritually or like whatever makes you happy. It's not just about,
Yeah.
because you can reach the goal of having this amount of money, but you're still deep
Yeah.
down maybe not going to feel happy. So it's kind of important to, I guess, listen to your inner child and just
Yeah.
whatever it needs to, like, you know, be happy, you
Yeah,
know.
like this book is not a guideline on how to be happy. It's think and grow rich like
That's true.
financially. You could use the book to get rich and
Correct.
then realize you're still sad. So then you have to read another book, I
Correct.
guess.
Correct.
Because this book is not the happiness book. It's just how to get money.
Correct.
But
Yes.
you could rewrite this book and call it Think and Grow blank.
Mm.
Like just
Or you can
insert
grow, think and grow rich spiritually also, not just
sure, sure.
financially. Principles could be pretty similar, I'd say.
Like whatever you think is what you're gonna attract. So like think and grow,
100%.
insert word here.
Right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
also the book, it was interesting that they
Like
mentioned that the dominating thoughts we have in our heads
yeah.
basically shape our lives. And especially when it mixed with emotions, especially with these three strongest emotions, faith, love, and sex, these dominant thoughts, they really become like supercharged. And that's like our
Mm.
compass, like where we're going to go in this life. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And especially when applied with auto suggestion, which is like the chapter 4.
Yeah.
Then it just becomes even more interesting. Yeah.
Right, because now we have to talk about chapter 4 because he said, like, didn't he say the only way that he knows to increase your faith is through auto suggestion?
That's correct. That's correct. Yes.
So I guess first let's try to define to the listeners, what is auto suggestion?
Right. Auto suggestion is kind of like when you're talking to your subconscious, right? Like, for example, relax, or take a deep breath, or you're believing in yourself. You're like, it's kind of like affirmations, don't you
Exactly.
think? How would you interpret auto suggestion?
The first thing that comes to mind is affirmations. And the thing is, like, even like even though we didn't know it, our whole lives we have already been making auto suggestions. It's just that we didn't intentionally do it. And usually when we don't do it intentionally, it's a negative auto suggestion. Like, for example, like we might say something like, why do I always forget my keys? Or something like, why am I always late? Or something like, why am I always
Right.
awkward? Why am I always awkward in public? And like when we auto suggest that, that becomes like our reality, bro. So like
It does.
you might notice during meditations that you can hear your own mind like saying a negative affirmation. Like the first time I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know I was doing that to myself.
Right. But it's good that you become aware of it, you know.
Yeah. Because now you can intentionally choose your auto suggestion. And in the beginning, it might feel weird because your mind is like, dude, shut up. You know you can't do that. Right? Like your mind might try to like sabotage you.
Right.
So like
always change is always hard, you know. It's not easy.
like my suggestion my suggestion for auto suggestion, like when you're first starting out, choose the words carefully. Like choose words that your mind can agree with. Like we were just talking about this yesterday in my life coaching course with Mind Valley, because we practice this thing called lofty questions, where
Lofty question.
like we'll say like, why why am I getting better at teaching English every day? Why am I getting more comfortable with public speaking every day? Like stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a
And
positive.
yeah. And as people get more advanced in that, they'll just say things that are more direct, like, why am I so goddamn sexy? Or they'll like they'll say stuff like, why do I keep attracting money? And they intentionally use these affirmations for auto suggestion. That's it.
Correct.
So
okay. So you mentioned some good auto suggestions. Sorry if I cut you off a little bit, but like any other like good suggestions you would make? You mentioned some bad examples, well, which we're all guilty of in our own minds, you know, things happen. Which is a lot of it's subconscious, right? But that's why we're reading this book and we're trying to get better. But yeah, what kind of suggestions what kind of suggestion for auto suggestions would you have, like the positive one?
Right.
To start out.
Well, first of all, we have to believe that auto suggestion actually works, right? And I think because now we know that we've already used negative auto suggestions and it's actually affected our lives, that's evidence that auto suggestion works, right? So now that we know that it works, now let's choose some that will be beneficial for us. So the first one that we can try is like, why does auto suggestion keep helping me in my life? And this is something that if you're listening, you can write this down in your journal or on a whiteboard or something, right? Like something, because when you ask these questions, your mind, your eyes, it's going to look for evidence to prove that statement right. Like, why do things keep working out in the end? Why do I keep finding solutions? Why do I keep finding solutions to different problems?
Okay. That's a good one.
Why do I
keep
so why do I keep connecting to awesome people? How about this?
Right.
Why do we keep making such great podcast episodes?
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Yeah, other suggestion is in a chapter they basically talked at the end of the chapter, it's kind of like a short chapter. They talked about basically reading that chapter every day till you get it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about doing that. I read it twice and I'm still figuring out, to be honest, because
That's cool.
as we discussed, like the negative ones, like it's very easy to relate to those, like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm this, I'm that, oh, you
Yeah.
suck, whatever. Like, yeah, like we all had this, of course, but you could also give your positive ones, like, oh, I believe in myself, or I think I'm gonna reach my goal. I feel better. I feel like I'm connecting and I'm meeting cool people. I'm seeing more opportunities. I can travel more, and it's amazing. And
Yeah.
but also in the book, they discuss it's not just the thoughts in your head, like a basic thought, like, oh, I believe in myself and I'm gonna reach my goal, but also like the feeling is behind the thought. It's also really important. Like,
Yeah.
because if you just repeat quote unquote an affirmation every day, maybe it's a positive one, but if you don't feel it in your body, like it's
Right.
not gonna like really work because it's just like your subconscious mind doesn't really register it. So you have to.
Right.
That's why we talked about the 6-step plan to write your exact amount of money, what you're willing to do in return, etc., etc. Have that plan and read it every day and night with the feeling in order to your subconscious to reach this like uh to really make it like a reality to like, okay, I believe in that, and let's get you done, as they say. Yeah, take
Awesome.
action.
Did you choose what to put into your like 6-step plan?
I had vague plan. I haven't had a specific one, but that's my next step. I'm gonna do that after this. I'll definitely within the next week I'll do this.
Cool.
We can discuss about it. Maybe not the specifics, but we can discuss
True.
about it. Yeah.
I think this is a good time. I think also like something that's super helpful in this, which I think might come up in a different chapter later on, but with a different label
Correct.
is what I'm gonna call intuition.
Right.
Like that could actually help you create that list and to
Or your
create.
sixth then.
Sure. And actually, now that we're talking about that, that's what I have faith in. And that
Right.
and intuition feels like something that is infinite that I can't calculate what it is. I can't even explain what it is really. It's just like it's just a feeling that is there when my thoughts are quiet. And that feeling that is there when my thoughts are quiet, I trust that thing 100%. Whatever that thing is, I can't really explain.
That's great. But when do you have like your best ideas? When you feel for yourself, at least, like you have to be like zened out, like meditation or relaxed, or maybe you're doing something active. I don't know. What is it for you, for example? When you feel when the best ideas come in your head, personal.
And like the best ideas come when I know I want an idea for something, but at the same time, I'm not spending too much energy trying to find the idea. I'm letting it come to me. Like yeah, I could be meditating, I could be hanging my clothes, I could be washing my dishes, could be taking a dump, I could be jogging. It's usually something where like something mindless where I'm not thinking too much. I'm just doing something random and maybe just being present, possibly by accident, right? Like taking a dump, just don't bring your phone into the bathroom because that will distract you. But like,
Exactly.
just doing something mindless, and then suddenly it's like, whoa, like, hey, that's actually a good idea.
Okay, that's interesting.
Could be surfing, bro. You could be surfing.
Could be surfing. I think in my case it could be surfing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really love surfing. I'm so happy that I discovered the surfing thing in Vietnam. I didn't know you could do it. Like I surfed before in Thailand, in Hawaii, but in Vietnam it's the first time. So,
Nice.
so
That
if
was
you guys don't
in
know, you can actually surf in Vietnam. I was in Mui Ne, Mui Ne.
Moine.
But you can surf basically anywhere along the coastline. Uh, and the season starts from October till April. This,
Sick.
yeah, yeah. So in my case, I'm the happiest when I'm
Oop,
surfing.
my alarm's
There's
going
good
off.
access.
One second, one
What's
second.
that? All right. Maybe Nick went to take it down.
I'll just edit that out.
No worries. We're gonna keep it. Because actually, Post Malone, if you know about Post Malone, right?
Oh
He
yeah.
actually mentioned as well that his best music he wrote in his bathroom. Oh,
Oh really?
damn.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's I heard about it. So
That's awesome.
that's funny.
It's like
Yeah. All
sometimes
right. Well, we still have only like 7 minutes, right? Something like
okay,
that.
yeah. Yeah, like sometimes
Yeah, yeah.
what can happen is like you might have a conversation with someone, or not even a conversation. Somebody might just mention something to you and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." Then like a week will go
Mm,
by of not even talking or thinking about it, and then suddenly like boom, like whoa, that gives me an idea.
mm,
And that's how we went to India for TED.
mm. Interesting.
Because in
Yeah.
like TED holiday is like, well, it was I think late January this year, right? Dude, it feels like it was
Every year is different.
yeah,
But yeah,
it
it's like
feels
a Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year every
it,
year.
I swear like TED holiday, the trip to India was this year, but for me it feels like it was like 5 years ago. But anyways, uh last year in October, I met up with a bunch of friends and like a spiritual friend that he
Mm-hmm.
was visiting Vietnam. He came from India
Right.
to visit Vietnam, and
Mm-hmm.
I just told him like, hey, we should go see you in India sometime, and he was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Then like 1 month went
Mm.
by, and then he messaged me like, yo, let's do it. Let's go to India for real. And I was like, oh, all right, let's go.
Oh,
And we did it
nice.
in like for Tet holiday
Right. We should go again.
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the food is
Yeah,
so
I want to go
healthy.
to India. Mm-hmm. But they eat with their hands, right?
They do it with their hands. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Interesting. But yeah, anything else to mention about chapters 3 and 4 from this book?
I think we made some pretty good points, and I hope people listening, yeah, find a way to strengthen their faith in whatever they want to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's infinite is my suggestion, whatever that is, whatever you think is infinite, whether it's the universe itself,
Mm.
intuition, uh God,
Love?
according to your religion. Like what was that, love?
Love? Is it infinite, sort of?
Dude, why not?
It is kind of psychic and
It depends what you mean by love.
physical. But sex, as discussed in the book, was purely biological. But
Yeah.
yeah, those three strongest positive emotions, love,
Mm,
sex, and faith, definitely like, and combined with the thoughts in our head, that's yeah, that's gonna lead us somewhere in our lives, right? Yeah, that's where we're gonna go, right? So
I wonder what he means by
yeah,
love. Does he mean like not necessarily romantic love, right? But maybe just like wishing that someone feels happy? Would that count?
I think I think just the love altogether, like just love in general, but also love, the romantic love as well. I think he mentioned in a book example of Abraham Lincoln, like that he was a failure basically at everything until he was about in his 40s and stuff. And how he got there was through a strong emotion of love. And there were also like a lot of other examples in history about people that, basically with love, they achieve like great heights. And so that's kind of like a strong thing that can pull you somewhere, I guess. So
right, yeah, that must be a huge motivator. That makes sense.
Well, love is definitely huge. Sex is definitely huge, and then fate, apparently, that we still have to figure out, especially for us people that are not specifically religious, but yeah, there's definitely need to develop faith in something, otherwise, like, yeah.
I mean, people have faith in science, right? People have faith in science.
100%.
So that
100%.
shows that's evidence that having faith is possible. So cool. So now, can you also have faith in something infinite, whatever that is?
Well, also I have a suggestion in a book, at least it's written, that says scientifically proven that it works. And
right.
Well, yeah, it does work. You're speaking to your subconscious mind. Basically, you're kind of hypnotizing. You can reprogram your subconscious mind. So yeah, basically, I guess our suggestion for today is to just trying to so those negative other suggestions that we have, should try to have more positive ones, and also feel the emotion, speak them out loud. For example, I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm awkward with people, or this and that. I'm like, oh, like I'm meeting cool people. Oh, I'm feeling better and better. I'm having awesome gains in the gym. I'm seeing more opportunities, and I'm getting better at this sales job. And I'm gonna call my next customer. I know I'm gonna get stuff done, and just have like a positive mindset, like a powerful, like have faith to become better. And even if there's some days you feel worse, have faith that you're still gonna get better eventually. So
right,
yeah.
Then that's when you can use like the why do I keep finding solutions to problems? Yeah, try like right now we have about about 2.5 minutes. Like,
okay,
try to create a question, like in a question format, like why do I blah 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 blah. That is helpful. That is helpful for you. And actually, anyone listening, I would love for you guys to write to us, like in either comments or on the reels, like what lofty questions do you want to include into your life? What kind of lofty questions?
Can you give more examples about lofty questions? Lofty meaning something big, right? Something like,
exactly.
What does it really mean?
Dude, I can give it to you right now. We got about 2 minutes. I just took like a screenshot of a bunch of lofty questions.
All right.
There we go.
We only have
and there's specific, like, okay, for win-win relationships, why am I always surrounded by loving and amazing people who I deeply connect to? That's an example. How about for abundance? Why am I so good at making, keeping, and multiplying money?
And also feeling the emotion, not just saying it.
Right, like yeah, you, the speaker, you have to feel it, because if you say empty words, you're just wasting your time.
Right.
How about this? This is for love and connection. Why am I always surrounded by love? Why do I have such an amazing team of people working with me?
It just feels amazing hearing that.
Or how about this for well-being? Why am I always learning and growing? Why do I have such a sexy, ripped, and muscular body?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And finally, for creativity and inspiration, why do I have such powerful intuition? Why am I so clear on my goals and visions? Why are my days always so filled with inspiration?
Okay.
And then you and then you can make your own, right? So that way it actually works better for you, and it's more emotional for you, more beneficial for you. Yeah, bro. Right. That's about it for today.
Awesome. Thank you. That was great.